Hey everybody, welcome. We're live on Facebook with another exciting announcement, joined by my friend Knolly Williams. So I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Knolly Williams.
Man, you're turning it over to me quick. What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? Well, I am super excited. I wanted to say I'm beside myself, but I'm actually jumping up and down inside. You can't tell it because of maybe my German background, my German heritage, but I am super stoked. I'm super excited that we have a living legend that has just joined me here at Mentorship Master, joined us. You might remember that not too long ago, we launched our celebrity agent program. And guys, we've got a celebrity agent among us. We're gonna tee it up for him in just a minute. We're gonna be sitting down with him, asking a few questions. But this man, I mean, I've known him for over a decade. He started in real estate when he was a teenager when he started in real estate. He actually worked with Gary Keller before Gary Keller started Keller Williams Realty. He's a living legend. He sold a lot more real estate than I have. And get this, he's trained thousands and thousands of real estate agents. He's sold tons of houses. He's a super duper mega icon, okay? And I'm super excited to partner up with none other than the living legend, Stuart Sutton. Stuart Sutton. What's up, Stuart? You there, buddy?
Sure that was for me? I was looking around going, man, I want to meet this guy.
Man,
that was awfully nice of you. Maybe there was a day when I might have been a living legend. Now I'm just sort of a getting along slowly every day legend. How's that?
Now you're just living, huh? Living life, living large. Yeah, so man, you have an incredible story. You know, you and I met each other. It's been over a decade, over 10 years ago.
Yep.
We've had the privilege of, I say, rocking stages together, helping aid. You know, it's not very often that you meet another person that has a similar heart and a heartbeat. You know, we both love Jesus. We have a Christ-centered group here. All are welcome, okay? But it's not very often when you meet another person that's highly principled, like I am, and wants to help people, okay? And one other thing I'm going to say about you, Stuart, before we start. Kevin and Fred have about 52 questions, I think is what I saw last. But before we get into those questions, one other thing I want to say is you bring the best of the old school combined with the new school. What I mean is the old school work ethic, the systems, just the way of being is old school. In other words, good old fashioned integrity. Okay, but then you mix it with the new school technology. You know, you're a technology master, you own a software company, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm super excited, man. I'm super excited to be, as you can tell, you could hear it in my voice, to have you with us.
Well, man, you're always like this. I couldn't really tell you were excited. I'm as excited as you are, but this is my excited face.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to mute my microphone because I'm going to be hooping and hollering in the background. But Kevin and Fred actually usually have better questions than I do. I'm just excited. So, but tell us a little bit about you, Stuart. Tell us more about what motivated you to join forces, join eXp. You're here at eXp Realty, and you come from an incredible background. Tell us your story.
Well, you know what? It's interesting. I've gotten that question several times in the long history of my eXp relationship, which is about a week. And I'm just brutally honest. And, this is something I always sit down in front of sellers and I say, look, I tend to be very blunt. I hope that's okay with you. And that's what they want. So I'm just going to be very blunt. I just came because you wouldn't leave me alone. And that's about the size of it. No, I truly, and the brokers that I left, I love them to death. It was very bittersweet, quite sincerely. I get choked up thinking about them because they're just such fine people. But Knolly Williams, we nearly worked together about 10 years ago. And when the opportunity rolled back around, I just figured this was the time. This is the path that I'm supposed to be on. So working with you and eXp, and quite sincerely, I love eXp. Everything I've found out about it is a big surprise. The positives are beyond my expectations. But really, Knolly, if you had been with Bubba Joe's Dirt Realty in Mississippi, I'd still probably joined it, man.
Stuart, you just said something that just stuck out to me, which is so like you loved where you were at. It's not like you had a problem with the brokerage you were at. You were in a good place, and that's a very common theme I see with people who do discover eXp Realty, because there's a relationship. There's someone like a Knolly Williams who you obviously would love to. Like this is the Knolly Williams fan club hour here, and the opportunity to work with him. And most people are not leaving something or trying to get away from something that they don't like. It's that they see this opportunity that they realize is so big, and they're pulled towards something rather than running away from something else. And I think that's what I just heard you say as well.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because I mean, what eXp offers is strong enough that, and I guess I can say things like this. You guys feel free to edit whatever you want, but I just never saw myself as a recruiter, and that's kind of how I interpreted. Lack of knowledge leads us down different perceptions. And when Knolly encouraged me to actually do some numbers, and I figured out if I never recruited one single agent, I'd make a lot more money to XP than where I am now. So, the recruiting the agents is just gravy. So that's the way I saw it. Yeah,
that's awesome. I appreciate you saying that, Stuart. I think sometimes, eXp got this rap probably early on, right? This reputation that, it's just where people go to recruit. And I mean, Knolly knows a little bit of my story. I don't know if you've heard it, Stuart, but when I was first approached about eXp by a friend of ours, I literally said to him, I said, no, hell no. Like, in my impression of eXp was just that there was a bunch of people that no longer wanted to sell real estate, instead wanted to go retire on a beach and drink pina coladas or whatever. And they wanted Kevin and I to come over to eXp and sell real estate so they could, fund their pina
so
colada,
make some money,
allowance. And so that was kind of my impression, right? And again, lack of knowledge, right? Sometimes we're quick to judge or associate or put a label on something that we don't understand or don't know.
Correct.
And when we finally look under the hood or look a little deeper, get some understanding, some clarity, and bring sort of a level head to it, we go, oh, there's actually like a lot more here. Okay, sure, there's a recruiting element if you want to participate, but there's also a lot of other great things like collaboration. I mean, at the end of the day, take away stock, take away the comp plan, everything else. It seems to me like, for you, it was the ability to collaborate with Knolly. You guys have probably from my understanding, looked at other platforms in the past to collaborate on, and they just didn't quite come together and work out. And now you found a place that you guys can collaborate and bring both of your skill sets and both your hearts to the table. And who knows where that will go, right? But it's a cool foundation.
Yep, looking forward to it.
Let's talk about the production piece, Stuart, because did I get it right in terms of the numbers? You got into real estate. How old were you when you got in the game?
Well, you were close. I was 22.
Okay.
I looked like a teenager, but I was 22.
22 years old. 22 years old. So you've been at this for at least 20 years at this point.
Oh, nearly. Yeah.
Yeah. So Stuart is one that when I got into real estate, I've only been in the business. I started in 2003. And most of us in the Austin area, I mean, everybody knows Stuart Sutton. I mean, his name precedes him. It's decades and decades of great real estate production. I mean, and his numbers even now have not slacked. They haven't sloughed off. He's also real big into farming and building niches. Okay. And he's real big into education. Talk about the training piece that you are big into, Stuart.
Well, I believe very, very strongly in just a couple of areas, and really just, the agents that I coach and train just get sick of hearing this, but there's something extremely exciting and I mean, it's an adrenaline rush, and the word is consistency. And nobody wants to hear that. They want all this. They want, to go take a rocket and just launch their business and double and triple. Consistency. I mean, wasn't it Einstein that said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world? And I teach agents, if you add 10% to your business this year and 10% next year, where you're going to be in 5, 6, 7 years? I mean, the numbers are incredible. So consistency is a big thing I preach. And I just, like I say, the agents that I train just get tired of it. But along with consistency is productivity. And productivity is, to me, the essence of being successful in the business we do. It's, I'm sure, true in every industry. But I mean, we're seeing agents work from home who've never worked from home before, and they're having to learn a new way, and they have to be productive. If they're not productive, they're going to have some very big challenges. And I believe in this so strongly. I'll tell you a little story. I don't know how much time we have, but I won't take. I've got 2 sons. Okay. And when my first son got to college, he just signed up for the classes he was going to take. And he, went to town, and I'll brag a little bit if that's all right. We said, "What's your schedule?" He goes, "Well, I've got this." And I'm going, "That sounds like a lot. How many hours is that?" He said, 21. And I said, "It's more than most people take, but I think you can do it." And he did. Both my sons took 21, 22, 19 hours throughout their college careers. And they never made a B. The reason they did, and they said, "Dad, we don't get these people who take 12 or 15 hours. Look at all the extra time you have." They took 21 hours and worked, but it's because their mom and I are very productive people. It's because their mom and I actually purposely, we didn't brainwash them, but we purposely made them understand what productivity is. And so they're both extremely productive. And that's what I try to get across to the agents that I coach and work with, is that productivity means everything. And my wife says there's really only 2 people that she knows on this planet that's more productive than me. And that's President Trump and Knolly Williams.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And it's so true in terms of, productivity, work ethic. And I've seen you consistency, time on the task over time beats hard work every time. And what a lot of people interpret, a lot of the agents that we coach interpret as hard work is really playing catch up, them playing catch up. They slacked off.
You're so right.
Yeah, and you and I don't experience feast or famine. It's just slow and steady as she goes, and that's one of the big things I like about you. So how long have you been coaching and training, Stuart?
I started coaching back in about 97, I guess.
Okay.
And we did very large groups, did some, one-on-one, and then kind of set that aside for after about 07 is when I quit coaching a lot. And now I just basically coach a few agents here and there. I'll do a group. I've got some one-on-one folks, things like that. But my primary income at this point, and has been for some time, is my real estate brokerage and investments.
Yeah. And you're a broker yourself.
Yes, sir, I am. Yeah.
We got our broker's license. I think you got yours way before I did.
Mine starts with, mine only has 2 digits in it.
You were like the second agent in Texas, right?
I think my mom's license number is 4 and mine's 8.
Yeah, I didn't realize so your mom was a realtor. You mentioned that, I think, right?
Yeah, my mom's still a realtor. I'm bragging about my family. I need to stop doing that. She was making over $700,000 when she was in her 80s.
Wow.
She's something else.
Yeah. And I looked at your numbers from last year. Very impressive, buddy. Very impressive.
We didn't miss a mortgage payment. Well, I can't say that for sure. My wife pays a bill, so I don't know.
And the interesting thing is you're able to actually teach, coach, train, and keep high production, just like Kevin and Fred. They're doing over 400 deals a year.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah. And they're still out there teaching, training, coaching. And for me, it's hard to ride 2 horses. I'm out there having fun and coaching and training, and I still produce. I still cap every year, but you'll easily hit icon and far beyond. In fact, just a quick side note, where I'm staying right now, I'm in Ruidoso, New Mexico, just hanging out here for the week with some mentorship masters who are some of our mentorship masters ambassadors who heard about about eXp right here at this cabin 1 year ago, almost to this week. And because they come up here every single year, same cabin, and they're kind of like you, Stuart. They're high level producers. He's just about to hit icon. He's been with us, almost a year. And so I see you going down that same trajectory. And icon, for those of you that don't know, icon is, and I'll talk about this for just 1 minute or maybe less. Icon is when you you cap here at eXp at $16,000 is your cap, and then you do 20 more deals. You hit icon, okay, which Stuart will probably do that in 3 or 4 months, and then you get 100%, okay, of your $16,000 cap back in the form of stock. Now, for the agents that capped last year, okay, and they got or that hit icon last year, okay, when our stock was $8 a share, what is their stock worth now, Kevin and Brad?
It's a little over 38 this morning when I looked, right, Knolly? So yeah, I was talking, if you guys don't mind me sharing this, there's another person in your guys' market by the name of Elizabeth Riley, who has been at eXp for 5 years now in Austin. And, you know, she's earned the Icon Agent Award 5 years in a row. And I was on a little Zoom with her a few weeks ago. And, you know, she was sharing with me, like, you know, hey, when she first got that award, she doesn't even know, she doesn't look at it, but I figured out that award that she probably got stock at $2, $3, $4 a share. So you figure out $16,000 worth of stock, you know, at $4 a share, how much that is, and then take that out today at $38 a share. That's a lot of money right there, right?
Wow,
There's just
no
no other
kidding.
brokerage in the history of the world that's ever compensated their top producers in that type of manner.
Yeah, I mean, the only models that have ever done that has been a franchise model where there's regions involved and people buy a region and kind of develop it. And don't get me wrong, they earn that over time, but that's not available to all of the agents in that company. It's available to the one person who got there first and wrote the big check for the region and then did the work to develop it. Where here with our model, it's literally available to all of us as agents. It's equal opportunity, truly, and that's one of the most beautiful things I think about this company.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the big things that I'm trying to do is grow through the agents that I attract, and it's not just that I'm attracting agents; we're attracting each other. You know, agents are attracted to me, and I'm attracted to them. And if it's a good fit, like Stuart, we want to work together. And any agent that joins eXp under Stuart, I can tell you, they're going to go to the moon. Why? Because Stuart has systems in place for whatever you want to do. I sat down with his team a couple weeks ago, and I talked to each team member, and whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, Stuart is right there to help you to achieve it because he's seen it all in decades and decades and decades of being in this business. And then his mom was in the business before him. And hey, I got to tell you, there are not a lot of realtors out there in their 80s, and there's not a lot of realtors out there holding down $750,000 in commissions. Talk about productivity. And this is the mold from which this guy comes. So whether it is, I mean, I know, Stuart, a lot of the stuff that you teach is you teach farming, you teach niches. Niches is really, really huge. And you work your database, your sphere of influence. You've got phenomenal systems for all of those. And really, those are the 3 buckets where 95% of all business is going to come from anyway. You know, so talk about your training programs, the kind of stuff that you like to teach around.
Well, I'm very passionate about specialization, about niches. And a farm is great. Farm's absolutely. The only reason I have a small preference for niches is because they're so easily expandable without rebranding. So if you have a niche of a property type, let's just say it's acreage, or it's townhomes or condos or lakefront or whatever the case is, you can expand. So one of my niches, I hired an agent in another part of town. I'm not going to go drive an hour to take a listing, but we didn't have to rebrand anything. I mean, the brand is there. So, and I'll give an example, 1 acre plus homes. When consumers see a list of agents they've Googled, or they're looking at sites and they see Bob Jones and Felicia Smith and 1 acre plus, if they're looking for something on 1 acre or more, guess where they're going to go to? The brand. So I brand the niche, and I teach agents to brand the niche, and it's extremely lucrative. There's been years where my niche income was higher than the rest of my income. In the way that sellers respond to it, and it's incredible. I mean, I can give you story after story after story of people, and I'll give you one real quick because this one's really interesting. Got a call from a guy and said, "Hey, I want to sell this property, and you can't tell anybody my name." And I said, "That's fine. Do you mind me asking why?" And he said, "Well, because I'm CFO of," and it was a big real estate company in another town. So instead of sending them to his agents here, he wanted a specialist. So I listed and sold the property. And I still can't tell you his name. I'm sorry. It's confidential, and it's signed off on. But that's the power of specialization. That's the power of understanding, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, your property type is unique. And here's why. The market performs differently for your home than it does the rest of the market. When you see stats about the market, those aren't your stats. That's the market stats. Here's yours. Here's how your type of property performs. And people respond to that. I'm quite often the only person sitting down talking to people when they call me to visit with them. So that's why you can tell I'm passionate about specialization and raising yourself above what the competition can offer a seller just because you are a specialist. And in my presentation, I even go into, I mean, who makes more money and who's more highly thought of in the community, a heart surgeon or a family doctor? Family doctors are certainly well respected, but what takes more education? What takes more specialization? And that's true in virtually every industry. I don't care if it's fixing computers versus networks, or mowing my lawn versus a greenskeeper at the golf course. A higher level of specialization means more respect and more money.
Man, I love what you guys are saying. I'll just say this, if I'm an agent out there watching this live or watching this recorded, and I'm hearing, you know, there's so many people that are looking for the quick fix, like how can I just go add 10 more deals to, you know, my business? But you guys, both of you, Knolly and Stuart, like you guys have built businesses around consistency and businesses around niches and businesses that survive and last through the ups and downs of real estate. So anyway, I'm just an observer at this moment, sitting here going, if I'm sitting here outside listening, going, I want more consistency in my business. I want help, right, in building these niches and building these specializations that will continue to benefit me year after year. I'm picking up the phone and calling one of you guys. So I'm already here, but I'm just saying there's got to be some people.
That's nice of it. We should probably be listening to you, actually.
Oh, no. I'm loving what you guys are saying. So, and a lot of times everybody's looking for the exciting thing. And I hate to say it, but sometimes, you said it earlier, Stuart, you know, sometimes the consistency piece is boring for people, but oftentimes boring, if you will, is the simple way of just building something big over time. And so, you know, instead of looking for the flashy next thing, right, you guys are building things that last, which I think is just amazing.
Yeah, good point. Thank you.
Yeah. Stuart and I used to joke about it in our training classes years ago. We say everybody's looking for the new, and we're giving them the old with a new twist. And I remember when, actually I wrote about Stuart because he owns oneacreplus.com, the number one acreplus.com. And I was talking about niches. So I wrote about him in my book, Success with Listing, 5 years ago when I wrote that book. And even now, what Stuart does, he's a master at this. He'll develop a niche and he'll put an agent over that niche, teach him everything he knows, and then they're off and running. And he's over doing something else. And so no matter what town you are, it doesn't matter what state you're in, if you want to master, like Stuart said, generating, you know, 300, 400, 500,000 a year consistently, okay, never missing a beat, this is the guy to learn from. And so Stuart, you know, I know we talked about attraction earlier. This is how we build our groups here at eXp. Is we basically say, look, if you want to learn something, you want to know something, you want special knowledge, we're here to dump that on you. We're not here to take, we're here to give. And of course we don't receive from you, we receive from the company, which is a beautiful thing about this model. We can teach everything that we know for free, the kind of stuff that we used to charge tens of thousands to learn, you know, to teach. We could teach it for free now. I remember when iPad first came out, Stuart, you were the first guy that I knew that taught real estate agents how to do their business 100% on the iPad. Remember that?
I do. It was really a lot of fun too. I didn't travel around a lot and do it, but I did travel around Texas and do it. And it was so cool. I mean, I'm on my like fourth iPad. I just wear them out. They're awesome. Somebody asked me the other day if I'd print something. I said, "What's a printer?"
I love it. See how he blends the old with the new. Don't get
I tell you, it's I have a PC. I mean, I'm not going to work from my desk on an iPad. You could, but the minute I walk out this door, all I carry is an iPad. That's all you need. Everything all my contracts and agreements, listing docs, everything are signed right on that iPad. I'm not talking about I send it DocuSign. We sit there and we go over it because you know what? People are used to that now. They were actually kind of used to it when I started using one when it first came out. It wasn't a surprise to them, but it makes things so easy just to say, okay, you've signed it, I'm sending it to you, and boom, I don't have to remember. If I have to remember something more than 10 minutes, it's probably going to be forgotten. So I like to do it right then, make sure it's taken care of. But I can also, at the same time, when I'm sitting at the table with those folks, I send them all the docs they just signed, and I send them to my assistant at the same time. So it's all being taken care of. When I get up and walk out of that listing appointment, my assistant knows all the services we're going to provide and who to order them from. And the seller has her information and all that. And it's all right there on that iPad. It's just awesome.
Yeah, you see how we sit down to interview Stuart, and he's educating us. Like he can't not teach.
I love it.
And that's
I'll try to do better.
Yeah. So that's why, this is a big reason why I launched the Celebrity Agent Program for authors, trainers, speakers, coaches, public figures, people like Stuart. It fits perfectly because Stuart, I'm a guy that loves funnels. I love internet marketing, and I'm going to be taking a lot of Stuart's systems and, getting them out to the world, We're going to partner up, and we're going to be doing stuff around these things that he teaches. So he'll be creating, he already has tons of courses and all that. I'll just be digitizing and helping him with that side of it. And probably most of that stuff you could do, Stuart. It's just a matter of time. And that's the reason why Kevin and Fred partnered up. That's the reason why I partnered up with Kevin and Fred. And that's the reason why Stuart has now partnered up with us. So I like the way one guy put it. He says, hey, I didn't really recruit Stuart. He recruited me to really help him and to take his business to new heights while he's out there doing what God has blessed him to do. So we love you, Stuart. So happy to be in business, buddy.
It's mutual, buddy. And I'm really, this is the first time I've heard and really, I guess, grasp what an icon agent is. I appreciate that. But this celebrity agents, when I want to get a grasp on, I haven't had a single limo come by to pick me up. And I was wondering when that was going to happen.
I paid for this guy's Starbucks. Did I pay for that Starbucks, or you paid? You paid.
No, you better get that.
Summer Moon. We went to Summer Moon. I got there late. That's another trick I'll teach you guys later. You get there about 10 minutes late. He's texting me. He's like, "What are you going to order?" And I put in my order. You know what I'm saying? So I get there and my drink's already ready. I'm like, "Oh, did you have to pay for that? I'll catch you next time."
I don't know if you knew this, but I kind of already figured that one out.
He's on to me. Yeah.
Well, hey guys, we'll kind of wrap up, but Stuart, thanks for your time, man. Honored to be partnered with you and to get to know you more, and just excited to see what you and Knolly create together. And y'all have always, both of you guys, it sounds like, I know Knolly super well, obviously, but you guys have just been givers and continuing to help other people in this industry for a long time. So it's exciting to watch you guys partner together at eXp and be able to put some, even more, I guess, fuel, if you will, behind that partnership. And, one of the cool things about eXp, we all, sort of like we said earlier, we all kind of heard about it and thought it was just a recruiting company. But then funny enough, you realize that like when you do join the company, like it's this really intense partnerships that develop and sprout, because the company essentially rewards partnership. It rewards collaboration.
Yeah. And it's very cool. Actually, it is very cool.
Yeah.
It's
really cool.
I'm very honored to be associated with not just Knolly, but you guys. He's shared with me a lot about you, and I got to tell you, I'm just very honored to be associated with you.
Awesome.
Same here, Stuart. Well, I'm looking forward to some of the stuff we can all build together, and lots of good times and stuff to come. So officially welcome to eXp Realty, and
thank you.
Excited to be in business with you, man.
All right, appreciate it.
And in closing, Knolly, how do people get a hold of you guys? How do people get a hold of you and Stuart? I'll just let you close on that note.
Yeah, so I'll put this out to you, Stuart, because right now what I'm really doing is building under my superstars. You know what I'm saying? And so Stuart is absolutely a living legend. He's modest, he's conservative, okay, and he's modest, like I am, and so he doesn't talk too highly of himself. But this guy, if you really want to have a rocking career, much of what I've done in my business has been patterned after what I learned from Stuart, and we really are cut from the same cloth. He's like a brother from a different mother, if you will. And so, how do we get a hold of you, Stuart?
Well, you want phone numbers, emails, all that?
Yeah.
Whatever the
number
best way is
512.
that you want people to reach out and say, hey, Stuart, I want to
Absolutely.
collaborate more with you and Knolly.
Absolutely. You know what? I just worked a transaction with an eXp agent first time. Nate Jones, if you don't know him, awesome. Just very professional, obviously very capable and knowledgeable. So I'm excited about that. Anyway, my phone number is 512-844-3254. And my email is pretty easy. If you get the spelling right, it's STUART, Stuart at StuartSutton.com. I got that just a few weeks after Al Gore invented the internet.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Well, thanks. It's been a lot of fun. Looking forward to hanging out with you some more, Stuart, in the future, and excited to watch this party and all these collaborations grow and see more people come on board and do some bigger and better things together. So, Knolly, go enjoy your cabin. Go out on a hike. Make sure you get that limo, though, over to Stuart's house before dinner tonight, okay?
There you go.
You got to earn that, but it's coming.
Thank y'all.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.